Sam was good. Reg ended the live stream. He's having Wi-Fi issues, so I'm going live right now. Yep. How's your day going, Sam? People is bugging out. Ronnie, what up? I just hit you up. Like, Reg ended his live stream. He's having Wi-Fi issues, so I decided, yo, I'm gonna do a live stream. Why not? I don't do too many of these anyway. So, Ronnie, what you think about them Lakers, yo? What's good with those Lakers? They are, yo. Who you think they're gonna get? Cause I keep hearing they might get Drummond. Then people saying they was gonna trade Kuzma. They got to get somebody, cause they definitely struggling right now. There's no word on when AD is coming back. It's crazy. I know this is like out the blue, but I figured why not come on because Reg is having issues and I'm like I don't feel like getting off right now. Hip hop purists are saying Life After Death. Yes, Life After Death is a classic double album. What hip hop purists are saying now? Let me know, cause they don't know what they're talking about. If the Lakers get Drummond, then that'll be bad for the Knicks. Cause the Knicks had the opportunity to get Drummond, and it would show that they just been waiting like they always do to make a move. The Lakers are always serious about winning. It's always a championship for them or bust. Why can't other teams think like that? Like why can't Denver and Dallas and those teams think championship or bust, not just making the playoffs. Making the playoffs is good, but you want the gold at the end of the day. And just making the playoffs is not enough for me. They need to want to make be better every year and upgrade their team so that we can get to the finals and win it. That's the end goal. I don't want to be. We've been rooting for teams for 20 something years to make the finals and win, and they never come close. Like, show your fan base that you care and that you want to win. You know, that's my whole thing. You prefer Life After Death over Ready to Die? I think both of them are classic albums. It's apples and oranges. Whether you choose Ready to Die or Life After Death, both great albums to me. I can't choose. You know, I don't care for debates like that. Like when people say, you know, uh, Infamous or you know, Cuban Link. They're both great albums. Like it shouldn't. It doesn't matter like which one you choose. It's not a wrong answer. Now, if you say Infamous over the Infamous and Double Up, then that's a huge difference. You know, so I don't care about those type of album debates. They're both classics. You know, what's your favorite songs? What's your favorite top three songs on Life After Death? Like, let me know, Sam. Like, what are your favorite three songs on disc one, and your favorite three songs on disc two? Wu Tang Forever and Life After Death on my yeah, I love those classic albums, classic double albums. All Eyes on Me, All the War, um, Dipset, the Diplomatic Immunity Volume One. My favorite double albums. Wu Tang Forever, definitely my favorite of all of them. That's their best album, is as far as I'm concerned. Like, and Into the Wu Tang is a classic, is great, but Wu Tang Forever hit me differently. You know, when you have the addition of Street Life on a lot of those songs and Kappa, You God did his thing. People shit on him, and he did his thing on a lot of those songs. Great album. I still play that. What's Beef, Last Days, Kicking the Door. Yes, those are my favorites. I like those too. Kicking the Door, definitely. That's one of my favorites on disc one. More Money, More Problems. Um, what's the other one? I Got a Story to Tell. Love that song. He should have had a video for that one. You know, definitely classics. I agree. It's a flawless album. I don't like Player Hater, but even with that, still a flawless album. Every song on there could have been a hit. I got the dough. I love the dough. Notorious Thugs. Um, the world is filled. Every track on there could have been a hit single. Ronnie said my top three songs is Ten Crack Commandments. Yep, classics. Long Kiss Goodnight, classic song. Kicking the Door. classics, and they were playing all of these songs on the radio like they were singles already. Like Ten Crack Commandments was in Hot 97's rotation back then, and there's no video for it. Right, everybody knows that song. Same thing with Kicking the Door. No video for that. Everybody knows that song. So that's when you know you have a classic album, when you can throw on any joint from that album and everybody knows those songs. You know. Yep. I know it's late, but I said shit. Let me do a live stream. Why not? I might do this more often. Like just come on late at night and talk. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't remember ever reading a Wu Tang reviewing the source for the album. I mean, if I did, then I don't remember. But I never went by what the source said anyway. I would read their reviews and then make up my own mind, like if I'm gonna buy that album or not. I never, they could have said, oh well, every Outkast album is a classic. I didn't go by what they said. You gotta have your own mind. You know, they gave Naked Truth by Little Kim a five mic rating, and that's not a five mic classic at all. So what I'm saying? It's always up to the listener. You gotta go by what you think is dope to you. If you think an album is dope and it didn't get a five mic rating, it don't mean that it's not a great album. Just that the source felt like it was, maybe they felt like it wasn't a classic. I didn't care what the source think. There's many albums that the source never gave a five mic rating that I think are classic albums. They never gave O.C. Jewels a five mic classic, and I think that's one of his best albums. One of my personal favorites. You know, MC8. We come strapped. I don't think that got a five mic rating album. That's one of MC8's best solo albums. I love it. Yeah, Bobby Digital, dope album. They never. I don't even remember what rating it got in the source, but that's a dope album. Underrated Wu Tang solo album. I definitely need to get that. I never bought it. Death Row Snoop Dogg or No Limit Snoop Dogg. No Limit for me. Doggy Style is a classic, but that's his only classic on Death Row. Like the three solid albums he has on No Limit are to me are his best stuff. The Game Is To Be Sold Not Told, Top Dog, Last Meal, classic albums. I prefer that Snoop Dogg, and I wasn't a No Limit fan. Never cared for No Limit. I don't have none of their stuff. Only stuff I got is the Snoop stuff, and I think that's his best stuff in his career on that label. After that, when he started Doggy Style Records and he started dropping his other albums, is hit and miss for a lot of those albums. Some of them are good, some of them are mediocre, some of them are trash. You know, they gave Bobby Digi 3.5. See, I think it's more than that. I think it's at least a 4. I think it's that good. The production was great. The collaborations he had. He definitely, he even made a movie. Like it was unreleased, but he made a movie to go with the album. He needs to drop that movie. The fans need to see the Bobby Digi film. When's it for? Like he needs to drop that film. Like for the is it? I don't think it's 25 years yet, but for the 25th anniversary, he needs to drop that movie. Lakers got Cleveland. I wouldn't be surprised if Cleveland beat them. I would not be surprised. You know, it's crazy. What's your favorite albums from Snoop Dogg after Doggy Style? What's your favorite or his best album to you after Doggy Style? Because I always hear people say it's Dog Father. People say Blue Carpet Treatment. People say The Last Meal. It varies. It's never the same answer. See, No Limit Top Dog. See, I've heard people say that too. That's interesting. Yep. I think Blue Carpet Treatment is definitely one of his favorites. One of his best albums, definitely. Last Meal, definitely. Great album. Dogfather, I never cared for Dogfather though. I always thought, I don't know. It didn't hit me like Doggy Style did. I felt like it was a disappointment, you know? Like he didn't really have no big hit singles from that album, you know? I think when I saw him live, he only performed Snoop Upside Your Head. He didn't even bother to do the title track or the Vapors. Did that show you how much he probably don't even like that album. He only did like one song in concert from that album. The song that most people know. I never bought it either. I never bought Dogfather. I remember hearing it online and I wasn't too impressed with it. Five Dogs, posthumous. Yeah, I know the video's out. I didn't get a chance to see it yet. I definitely need to check that. Rest in peace, Five Dog. He was a great guy. I used to talk to Fife about sports because he's a big Knicks fan like me. He was a big, baseball fan and Rangers fan. So, and that's what we talked about. We talked about sports. We didn't talk about no music, none of that stuff. I didn't even know they were doing a new album at that time because he never talked about it. He just everything was sports to him. He was starting a sports podcast with him and DJ Hurricane, and they had an IG page. And I remember they requested me on that page, but before they got it up and running, he passed away. So anytime I spoke to Fife, it was always about sports. It was never about music, nothing else. So it's very sad that we lost a legend. You love the Dog Father. I mean, maybe I gotta check it out again. Like from what I remember, it wasn't like I thought it was a step down from Doggy Style, but you know, you like Pimp Slap, the Pimp Slap this song. I remember that joint. I remember that. Yep. It's crazy. Who had the best verse on Pete Rock True Master? Damn. Yeah, I gotta go with Deck. I'm trying to remember Corrupt's verse, but I don't remember it. I don't remember it too much. But Deck always had, like I said, like he's a great table setter for any song that you have and you have Deck featured on it. He has to go first. Like he went first on Triumph. He went first on True Master. He went first on. I believe he went first on. No, no, no. He didn't go first on that. I was saying he went first on Tres Leche, but I think Prodigy went first before him on that. But he's a great table setter for any track. A great lyricist, underrated. I don't feel like he has any classics solo wise, but within the clan, he definitely can start off any track and set the tone. Yeah, that's right. He went first on Protect Your Neck, right? I forgot about that one. You know, but this is why people have them on have him on they albums because he's a great feature. Like when you have Deck on the track, that's a great look. Above the Clouds for Gangstar, he killed that song. You know, that's a one of my favorite Gangstar songs. You know, nah, I haven't. I think Reg asked me about that. I haven't heard the Take a Look Around album from Master Ace. That one I have to hear. I've heard most of his stuff from Slaughterhouse and Disposable Arts, the Sitting on Chrome album, of course. The was it Son of Doom? It was like him and MF Doom. Son of Yvonne. That album was dope. The Brooklyn album with him and Marco Polo. That was solid. I've heard most of his stuff, but I haven't heard that Take a Look Around album. I gotta check that out. Definitely, we got to talk Master Ace stuff. I don't think we've done anything Master Ace yet. And I don't have none of his albums. All of his shit is like out of print. Yeah. Now that's somebody I'd rather talk about. I definitely want to discuss Master Ace because he's always been underrated. And he's still dropping gems right now. Even in this era. So yeah, we gotta talk some Ace stuff. Yep. Mm, definitely gotta do that. That came out in 1990, right? I think that was his first album. I never heard that one. It's everything after that album I heard. So I definitely gotta hear that. Granddaddy IU, I've heard some of his stuff. I'm not familiar with everything that he's dropped. He's underrated as well. As well. You know. Yeah, definitely gotta discuss those artists. Yep. Roxanne Shante. I might have heard that. I think I heard that second album. I think I did hear that one. She's a great lyricist too. Like you know what she did. Coming up in Queensbridge for a woman is legendary. Being in with Marley Marl and that she's definitely a legend. I haven't heard all her stuff though. Somebody's hitting me up. Nas got me into rock. Oh, I heard all Queens MCs, man. Nas and Cool G Rap. You know, Cool G Rap. That's another artist we haven't discussed yet. Really, we gotta put some respect on him, on his stuff. You know, shout out to Reg. I only got one Cool G Rap album thanks to him. I got the 456 album finally. I've been wanting to get that for years, and I finally got it. Great album. I never did get, the stuff he did with DJ Polo, but I definitely want to get those in the future. Root to Evil. I gotta check that. We kept saying we're gonna talk about that album. We haven't talked about it yet. I definitely want to talk about that album. Yep. What's some of the stuff you guys would like for us to discuss? Like what artists or albums or whatever from any genre. I think people have gotten used to me discussing old school stuff, and when I discuss new school stuff, it don't really get that many views. You know, it's between the old school stuff and the movies that I'm getting the most stuff, the most views on. Yep. Bad Brains. Oh yeah, you did mention that. You did, and I did look up some Bad Brains albums. I just haven't they're on my playlist to listen to. I just haven't listened to it yet. I've been so busy with everything else, but I'm definitely going to listen to their albums. The Dog Food album, I could do that. I just, I don't know. It's just when it comes to those type of albums, I don't feel like I can bring anything new to the discussion. I feel like those everybody know those albums. Compared to like if you talk about Cali's Active, how many people even mention that Dog Pound album? It's always the first one, or the Dog Shit album. They don't even mention that album. Those are the albums that I get excited to discuss. Not like this the same albums because everybody has already talked about it. You know, Black Flag. I mean, I could definitely discuss that. You know, we'll see. You don't like The Cure? I have always heard about them. I never listened to none of their albums. what albums you recommend from The Cure? If it wasn't for Dr. Dre, it wouldn't have been the Dog Pound. I thought the Dog Pound was like, you know, Daz corrupting Snoop. Dre didn't even really he didn't produce nothing on the Dog Pound album. He just mixed it. You know. Boom, 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 boom. I don't know. Disintegration and faith and pornography. Oh wow, that's like four. Is that like four albums? You telling me? Was that two albums? The Cure. I never heard them. I never heard them yet. I definitely gotta check them out. Definitely gotta check them out. That's four albums. Okay, I'll check those. I was gonna discuss the Linkin Park Meteora album, but then I was like, that's an album that everybody knows really from Linkin Park. You know, if I discuss any Linkin Park albums, it'll be like one of the other ones, maybe A Thousand Suns or Living Things. The early stuff is goth. Oh wow, I'm not into goth music, man. You know, it has to sound really good for me to want to check it out. You know, but yeah, definitely. If it's good, I'm gonna definitely talk about it because that's what I'm all about. You know, discussing different things and things that I love, and when it comes to music, definitely different types of music. So you know, I definitely want to get back into like the alternative stuff, talking more about the alternative stuff coming up. You know, the Cindy Laupers and the Culture Clubs and the Genesis. You know, artists like that. Paramore. You know, yep. Favorite rapper from Brooklyn, New York. Favorite rapper is Biggie. Definitely Biggie. I love Biggie more than Jay Z. You know, it's just Biggie just had a different swagger about him. You know, whether it was what he wore or how he walked or how he spoke, his rapping style, it was just different. He just had a different swagger to him compared to Jay. You know, but we have a lot of great rappers here. You know, MC Light, Sean Price, rest in peace. Az, you know, Papoose. We have a lot of good rappers. The whole boot camp clique. You know, do I like Bjork? That's another artist I never really checked out. I never really listened to her stuff. I've seen her videos in the past, and I've seen her like in movies, but I never listened to her music before like that. You know, I don't know. That's like what albums would you recommend from Bjork? Yeah. Yeah, ODB, that's right. ODB. Rest in peace to him. Your first three albums? Okay. I'm gonna check those out. I got some music to listen to. I got Bjork to listen to. I got The Cure. I got Bad Brains. I got Black Flag to listen to. You're giving me like a whole alternative playlist to listen to right now. So that's dope. Yeah. Favorite rappers from the Yonkers? Shit. The Locks, DMX, um, Pete Rock and CL Smooth, Heavy D and the Boys. Well, they from Mount Vernon, but I mean, shit. Definitely the Locks is right up there. Them and DMX. Debut and Post and Homogenic. Okay. Definitely gonna check those out. Oh, it's trip hop she does? Okay. I'm gonna definitely check that out because I just thought she was like alternative, like rock or whatever. So I'm gonna definitely check that. You know. Yeah. Kate Bush. Nah, is she a singer? I know. I know. I'm thinking of somebody else. And I don't know. I don't know Kate Bush. What does she sing? Favorite rapper from Philly? Probably either Black Thought or Beanie Siegel. You know, Philly got some they good they artists too. You know, Will Smith and Eve. You know, Meek Mill. I'm a big Meek Mill fan. Yeah, probably Black Thought, Beanie Siegel. You know, I never heard of Kate Bush. I never listened to her stuff. What albums you recommend from Kate Bush? Y'all seen the Justice League? What y'all thought about the Snyder cut of the Justice League? If you saw it, Living Heights and Running Up That Hill. Okay, I'm gonna check those out too. Schoolie D. I didn't. I know of Schoolie D. I didn't listen to a lot of his stuff, so I think that's why he doesn't get mentioned a lot. He was really like old school. you know. But yeah, he doesn't get mentioned. You're right. The Kick Inside and the Dreaming. Okay, I gotta check that out. Zion was good, yo. Yeah, Reg had to leave because he's having Wi-Fi issues. So I decided to jump on, is then do a live stream. I don't do a lot of these live streams, and I said, why not? You know, what's up with the Fat Joe and Big? What Fat Joe and Big Pun thing? I don't know what you're talking about. Fill me in. What do you mean the Fat Joe and Big Pun thing? He sneaked this in Big Pun. Why? Big Pun is dead. Well, like why would he sneak this a dead man? What does he have to gain by doing that? On what song anyway? And the only song I know that he has out is that new joint with a Khaled and a sample of Rihanna, the Rihanna joint. I forgot the name of that joint. Schoolie D invented gangster rap, and he doesn't get mentioned. He does not get mentioned. I definitely want to talk about the Chili Peppers. There's a couple of their albums that I love. Their first album I love, and Californication is probably my favorite one from them. You know, I don't know if it would be like a whole discography, but I definitely want to talk about like some of the albums because that's one of my favorite groups, and you know why not talk about them? 90s Omar Epps or 2000s? I don't even remember shit that Omar Epps did in the 2000s. What great stuff did he do in the 2000s? I know his 90s stuff. You know, like Juice is one of my favorite films. Then he was in that, and I forgot that the HBO film he did with Tretch back in the 90s, I want to say. That was a good film. I don't remember the name of it though. They both played convicts. Um, wasn't he in the? He was in the Wood, I think, or Brothers, one of those films. Oh, that shit. Oh yeah, yeah. Somebody did mention that to me that he wasn't at the pun unveiling or whatever. I mean, I didn't even know about it. Like they didn't have that on the news. Like when they do these artists like name these streets after these artists, they don't even bring that shit up on the news. Like I heard about the Biggie one and I heard about the Wu Tang one in Staten Island, but I didn't hear about the Big Pun one. So I didn't even know about it. You know, I mean, if he wasn't there, maybe he had. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people wasn't there. I'm pretty sure Terror Squad wasn't there. You know, Cuban Link there or Triple Six or Remy Martin. These are people that Pun bought into Terror Squad. I'm pretty sure they wasn't there. And if they was there, then that's all that matters. Like his peoples came to represent him. If Fat Joe wasn't there, I don't. He might have had a prior engagement or something. Yeah, First Time Felon. That's the name of that song. What year did that come out? 'Cause I know I remember seeing that on HBO back way back. I want to say it was like the end of the 90s or early 2000s. But I haven't seen nothing Omar Epps did that was good in a long time. '97. Okay, that was a good film. Um, better movie character: Q from Juice or Kane from Menace to Society. Well, definitely, I think Kane for the rawness of his character. Like he just didn't give a damn. Q was more level-headed, and he really didn't want to be a part of whatever Bishop was doing because he knew he had something better going on with the DJing that he wanted to pursue. You know what I'm saying? And he's like the only one on screen to ever sleep with Cindy from En Vogue. And I thought that was dope because at the time Cindy was hot with En Vogue. I'm like, how did he pull that off? How did you bed En Vogue, the leader of En Vogue? How did you do that? Um, George Clinton produced the second Chili Peppers album. Okay, I didn't even know that. Did not know. George Clinton is a legend though, so it makes sense. And the Chili Peppers were, I think they always were inspired by Parliament and Clinton, so that makes sense. The self-titled album and Freaky Style. Are you talking about the Chili Peppers, Sam? Who are you talking about? Uplift Mofo? What album is that? I wouldn't put too much in what in Fat Joe not attending. I mean, if he's throwing shit at Pun, I think that's stupid because Pun is dead. Like after all these years, like he's still doing that. I feel Pac was Bishop, and nah, I don't think Pac was really like that. Pac was he had many different sides to him. I don't think he was crazy like Bishop to, you know what I mean, to kill his own people. So you know what I mean, like remember Bishop did he hurt his own peoples. You know what I'm saying? Like he killed Raheem. He shot Steel. He wanted to take out Q, but Q ended up getting a drop on him and throwing him over the rooftop. I don't think Pac was like that in real life. I don't think he would have hurt the outlaws and people that cared about him. He had many different sides to him. He was angry at times. Um he was happy. He was sad. He had many different emotions, just like any other human. I just felt like anytime he did something, it was controversial to mainstream America. You know. Oh, the third Chili Peppers album. Okay, I gotta hear that again. I don't even remember that title for that joint. Uplift Mofo Party Plan. I gotta hear that one again. Yeah, they definitely legends. I definitely plan on talking about some of their albums in the future. Like for one of the anniversaries coming up, like probably for Californication, because I know that the anniversary is like, oh, I think it's in the summertime, so I'll definitely talk about that album. They got some other albums that I like. Nah, I never. I heard he was in a car accident, but I never saw the pics or nothing like that. He crashed Pac's car. I never heard a story about that. And I've seen Fatal in concert. You know what I'm saying? Like he did his thing. He killed it. I have his first album, the what's that joint called? In the Line of Fire, underrated album. It had like a West Coast and East Coast vibe to it. But I don't know too many stories about Fatal though. Fight like a brave and party on your pussy. I don't remember that album at all. I gotta hear that one again. Uplift Mofo Party Plan. What a title. I must have skipped that album. I don't remember that one. I definitely gotta hear that. Yep. They had tube socks on their dicks. What the hell? I definitely don't remember that album. I must have skipped over that one. Most of their stuff I've listened to, like I must have skipped over that second album. He stole Pac's new car without permission, and around 4 a.m. he was driving up the back driveway. And wow, he went back home without confronting Pac. Well, what he thought Pac was gonna kick his ass? He might have been pissed at him. I don't think he would have. He would. I don't think he would have did what Bishop did though. Yeah, I heard about that. That he was. I see. If he was in higher learning, that could have been his Oscar. I think he definitely could have pulled that off. Compared, Omar Epps is a good actor, but I think Pac definitely would have did a better job than Omar. When you have a cast with Lawrence Fishburne and who else was in that? Um, who else was in that? Tyra Banks, Busta Rhymes, Ice Cube, Michael Rappaport. Like he clearly could have got if he had like the best performance in that he could have got an Oscar for that, or at least supporting actor. That was a great film. Like I love that film. The soundtrack was good too, but I definitely could see Pac in that film. Yeah, early Chili Peppers are more funky and punk rock. Yeah, I agree. I think that's why I love Californication so much because it was like a mix. It was funky. It was you had like the rock side to it. You had some ballads. He said Pac was very humble, but he would get the Outlaws to jump Hussein. Wow, that's crazy. If Pac was really like that, I never heard no story like that about him. But Pac, I mean Pac, I think Pac was going through a lot when he was on death row. I think there was a lot of shit going on with him. I think he was pressured by Suge Knight to do shit that he didn't want to do because he was on death row. And I think that's why when you hear stories of Pac saying, wanting to leave death row and starting Machiavelli Records and eventually leaving rap and going into politics, I think all that was gonna happen. I think all that was gonna eventually happen. And Suge was always thinking about business and making money, and he wasn't gonna allow Pac to do that. That's why I feel like Suge is behind Tupac's murder because I feel like Suge wouldn't have wanted him to leave death row. Renzo, what's good, bro? You up late? What is going on? Fastlane coming up. What you think? Who winning? Have I watched one of the up? I didn't see you post anything. When did you post anything? When did you make a post? Maybe I'm not getting the notifications. Fastlane coming up. What you think, bro? We got Edge against who you battling? Roman at WrestleMania? Who's taking that? Kane going into the Hall of Fame. What you think about that? I think it's long overdue. I'm glad that Kane is going in. He's a legend. Oh, the custom. Yeah, I did see those. Okay, I did see the custom entrance videos. I didn't know that was you that did that. So you custom made those entrances all by yourself? Oh, Roman Reigns retained. Okay. Hey, I miss Fastlane. I didn't see Fastlane. I thought it was this Sunday. I didn't see Fastlane though. But WrestleMania, I'm not missing. That's the big event for the year, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to wrestling. Roman Reigns against Edge. Who's taking that? I got Edge winning. I got Edge beating Roman Reigns. I think Edge is gonna get the title, and I think he's gonna drop the title at SummerSlam. And then you got Drew McIntyre against Bobby Lashley. I think Bobby Lashley is gonna win that. I don't see him losing the belt to Drew. You got a Asuka. She's battling forgot the chick name that she's battling from NXT. I think Asuka might lose that. Bianca Belair against Sasha Banks. I'm definitely picking Bianca Belair to win that match. I think that's gonna be one of the best matches of WrestleMania. They got some matches I want to see. Definitely not missing WrestleMania. Your subs are 4.44 thousand. Okay. I wish my subs was at that amount because I'm the numbers ain't adding up. I'm getting like 1.k views a month and I'm not seeing those subs. So something is wrong. McIntyre against Sheamus. Yeah, McIntyre facing Roman. I mean, he's facing Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania. So, like I said, I don't think Drew. I don't think they're gonna give the belt to Drew again. He just lost it. Like I don't see him winning it again just like that. I think Lashley gonna hold on to it for a while. Do I like the Pesh mode? Yes, I like the Pesh mode. I'm not familiar with all the albums though, but I've heard like one or two of the albums. You know. Yeah, man. That's gonna be good. That's gonna they the hurt business. That's the crew right now, man. You doing a live gaming? Okay. What game you playing live? You doing like what like WWE 2K or something? What you doing? Better Tupac crew, the Thug Life Outlaws. I love the Outlaws. I've always loved the Outlaws. I think they're talented um MCs. I don't think they put out their best stuff since Pac died, but I was a big fan of the Outlaws. Fatal Hussein, Gaddafi, both of them, rest in peace. Storm, um, Young Noble, EDI, Napoleon, Castro. All of those cats were good, and they to me they all had that brotherly love for each other. Iron Sheik is your favorite wrestler? Okay. What's your favorite Iron Sheik match, Sam? Yeah, I agree. None of them reached their potential. But I've been saying that though. Like since Pac died, they didn't reach their full potential. I think if Pac was alive, he would have made sure like every last one of them went multi-platinum with every album that because he would have been the executive producer. He would have been on the albums with them. He would have made sure that they were promoted the right way. Like he had a plan. They even said it on in the Vlad interview. Like he had a plan for each of them to come out solo. It was going to be Young Noble first, and then EDI, and then everybody else. You know. So I definitely think like yeah they missed their potential because of Pac not being here. But if he was here, he would have made sure every last one of them were like on the same level as him. Iron Sheik versus Hulk Hogan. Yes. You mean the championship match from I think what was that 84, 85? When Hogan beat Sheik for the first time he won it in the WWE. That was a great match. I remember seeing that when I was little. That was a great match. Oh, you play Sword Art Online? I don't know that game. I don't know that game at all. You're not playing no wrestling games, Renzo? If you play wrestling games live, I'll definitely join the chat with you. Better lyricist, Fatal, Hussein, or Gaddafi. Oh man, I like Gaddafi a little bit more, but I love both of them. Both of them were great. But Gaddafi, there's so many joints that he killed, man. Like he definitely was one of my favorites from the Outlaws. Suge Knight was a bad influence. He even influenced Devontae to become violent. Devontae Swing from Josie? I never heard that. Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant, yes. WrestleMania 3. Classic. That match was so classic. That was on the news. And that's like even at that time the local news didn't even like discuss wrestling like that. But that shit made the local news because it was like such an epic like moment for wrestling. Like, Hulk Hogan, picked up Andre and body slammed him in front of like thousands of people at the Pontiac Silverdome. You know what I'm saying? Like that was like an epic thing. Like even the WrestleMania 3 program had both of them on there. Like that was like the main event. You know what I'm saying? And Hogan won, but it was like when remember that moment in the match where Andre pinned him and him and Bobby the Brain Heenan thought it was like a 3 count, but there was like some controversy with that. They were saying like the referee counted too slow or some shit. You know, that was a epic moment though. I love that match. Drew Lashley against Drew against Bobby Lashley. That's gonna be great. That's gonna be a great match, man. Um, yeah, yeah. You gotta do the wrestling live streams. I'll definitely be in there for that, yo. Chris Benoit, Steve Austin. I mean, Benoit I love. Benoit definitely is a legend, and it's a shame he can't be in the Hall of Fame, but Stone Cold, like Stone Cold to me is the epitome of the Attitude Era. Like when you talk about the Attitude Era and you talk about Raw is War and the Monday Night War that they had with WCW and Monday Night Nitro, that like it's Stone Cold is the head of that. Without them, they don't have like the battle, the TV ratings battle. Like Stone Cold was the main reason why they had that. It wasn't Triple H and The Rock. You know, definitely Stone Cold. Missy Elliott spoke out and was like, after Devontae Swing got managed by Shug, he changed. I think Reg mentioned that to me that he would abuse his art. I heard like he would throw chairs at them and tables and shit. Reg was talking about that. I mean, but I don't know. Like now I'm hearing that Devontae don't even like deal with the media. Like he doesn't go outside and shit. Some shit like that. I don't know how true that is. And they want Tim and Swizz want Jodeci to do a versus battle. So are you just gonna have 3 members there? Or are you gonna have Devontae there as well? You know, it's crazy. Better movie character, Ricky or Trey from Boys in the Hood. Uh, I mean I'm gonna go with Trey. Cause Cuba Gooding, he was a great actor. I knew who he was at that time. I didn't know who Morris Chestnut was when that movie came out, and that's like the main movie that everybody knows Morris Chestnut for. Even after everything else he's done. Mega Man. Oh, I haven't played Mega Man in years, bro. It's been, I can't even tell you the last Mega Man game I played. It's been that long. I want to go, like, I got to go back to like the Nintendo era. That's how long it's been. Ultimate Warrior. What about Ultimate Warrior? Your favorite PSP games are Tekken, Final Fantasy. Dope, dope. Raw vs. SmackDown. I was a big fan of those games. Homie shot in his head, died in his vest. Yeah, I know there's some. I don't think Pac was behind that though. Yeah, there's some mystery going. That's why they need to investigate that whole those murder cases because there's some shit going on with that. The fact that people have died that surrounding that whole Tupac thing is just weird. You know, Sabu and Hall and Nash are underrated. Legion of Doom, legendary tag team. You naming everybody I love. Macho Man, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Bret Hart, one of the best. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, underrated. I love all of those. I grew up watching all of those wrestlers, man. Yokozuna, Razor Ramon, all of them. Well, what kind of deals they made behind Devontae's back? I don't know about the back. I don't know about the lore of the basement. I've only seen like clips and heard things. I don't know the situation with Timberland and Devontae. Sting, yes, I was a big Sting fan before the injury and after the injury. Bam Bam Bigelow, one of the best big wrestlers to ever do it. Like definitely was well, he could move in the ring for his size. To like the moves that he did, it was like not too many could do what he did at his size. He was great. Favorite female wrestlers? I don't got too many. Like China did her thing. She was good. Um, I like more of the diva wrestlers now. Like Sasha Banks is one of my favorites. Becky, Charlotte Flair. She does her thing. I think she's overrated though. I don't. She's not in my top three, but Charlotte definitely does her thing. Asuka, I like her. Um, Naomi. I like the divas now because the divas now to me can actually wrestle compared to back in the attitude era. I felt like they were just there for like just show and play. Tori Wilson and Stacy Keibler. I didn't think none of them chicks could wrestle. They would make deals with record labels because they was impatient. I mean, well, that part I heard about Devontae being the studio. I mean, but that's a hungry artist though. Like, what artist doesn't do that? They go for days without eating and sleeping. You know, I don't know how true that is. Where did you see that at? Devontae's daughter was exposing them on where? On Twitter? I don't know. I didn't even know he had a daughter. I don't know nothing about his personal life because he's never around. It's like I haven't seen Devontae since like the last Jodeci album. That was like what 10 years ago. He's not in the limelight anymore. Like they even said it. Like he refuses to be in the limelight. He's like he stays in his house now. So I don't know nothing about Devontae's personal life. Is he even producing anymore? I haven't heard nothing from Devontae in forever. What is he producing now? Like what is he doing? Nia Jax. Yeah, Nia Jax is good. I like her. Natalia. I feel like they got Natalia as a jobber now, and she needs to be. They need to respect her more because she comes from a legendary family. I don't understand how like what they doing with her. Lita was one of my favorites. Lita, um, Trish was good. AJ Lee, she was good. I wasn't a real big fan of hers. I didn't care for none of them. Beth Phoenix and them. I didn't care for none of those chicks. The Bella twins, I didn't care for them either. I thought they were just overrated and they were like, they gave them their reality show and I think more people know them for their reality show than their actual wrestling. Yeah, Elizabeth, I remember her. She was great. A great manager. Nia Jax says my hole. She said my hole. What does that mean? I don't understand. She says my hole. Like her asshole. Is that what you mean? I missed that match. I didn't see that match when that happened. Oh wow, that's crazy. So she said that on the air. I didn't see that match. That's crazy. I didn't see the meme either. I didn't even know that happened. That was on Monday Night Raw. I didn't see that one. Short hair Missy or long hair Missy? Short hair Missy. Those are wigs that she was wearing, right, Ronnie? That wasn't her real hair. At this point, he owns a ranch. He doesn't produce anymore. Yeah, that's what I heard. That he doesn't want. He has anxiety or something like that. When did he get the anxiety? Did he always have it, or is it something he got when they got famous? I didn't see that match with her and Lana. I didn't know that happened. And I didn't know when did he shut his pants. I didn't know that. That's funny. So they making memes out of what Nia Jax said. That's funny. Did she injure herself when she did that, or was it just like a simple like miss? Maybe she injured herself. Maybe that's why she was saying that. What wrestling match was the most violent? Shit, says a lot though. And any match that Mankind was in, any match that Nick Foley was in was violent. This still the Hell in a Cell match with Undertaker was violent. When he was Cactus Jack, he had so many matches where he like fucked up his own self, like messed up his ear, his fucked up his legs, his teeth, everything. Better lyrics is Warren G or Mac 10. Mac 10. That's crazy. I didn't even know that. I did hear about that, but I think Reg was the one that told me that he got he had like it was um a home invasion or something, and he got and they robbed him to the point and they beat him up and that's how he got the anxiety. But he was still doing music after '93. That's so I'm not understanding that because '95 is when the show the after party the hotel came out. You know what I'm saying? Like he was still out there with them doing music. You know, the last album they came out with the was it past was it past present and future, that album that he did the beats on there too. So I'm not understanding I'm not understanding the whole anxiety thing. At some point, you know, remember All Eyes on Me. That was '96. He produced on Tupac's album. So even after that incident, he was still producing. So when did he just say that I'm done with music? You know, Changing Faces album that came out after, that was what '94. He was on the Changing Faces album. He was still producing on it. So at some point, when did he say that, yo, I'm done with producing? You know, like if they're planning a versus battle, you know what I'm saying, with Jodeci, then it's only gonna be three members there then, because he's not gonna be there. Most wrestling violently blood match, Inferno match. Yeah, Inferno match was violent. That was a violent one. Yeah. Any ECW match that involved like barbed wire and chairs and tables, yeah, they were violent. You want wrestling to be more uncensored? They're not gonna do that, unfortunately, anymore, because everything now is all about the kids. It's all PG. I know there was a rumor that Vince wanted to go back to that Attitude Era, but I don't. It could be done. They just have to want to do it. They can't really worry about the sponsorships and they can't worry about that shit. I think you know they can't worry about what the parents are gonna say and you know what up, Makai? What's good? You know, I think it could be done. It's just that how would they do it now in 2021? How would they pull off the Attitude Era again? Was there a wrestling video game that was rated? Yeah, I want to say SmackDown. Was it Bring the Pain? If it wasn't Bring the Pain, it might have been Know Your Role. Like one of them had like when they started to show like blood in the video game, like when you hit somebody with a chair and they start bleeding. That I think that was like the first time they actually had blood in a wrestling game. I forgot which one it was though. But I had those games for PlayStation 2. Yeah, it's never gonna be another even if Vince wanted to bring that Attitude Era back. We had better wrestlers back then, you know, like the culture for wrestling was different. It's not like how it is now. I think if anything, it could work for NXT. I think NXT could do a attitude type of movement. I don't know if it would work for WWE like for Raw and SmackDown. I don't know if that could work anymore for them. NXT is definitely made for that. You know. Um, what officially made him stop and take a hiatus was the. I didn't know none of that. I don't know Devontae's backstory like that. I know the group's backstory. I don't know his backstory personally. So I didn't know none of that stuff was going on. Yeah, I mean, they have people on the roster that shouldn't be there. I think the NXT is the problem because they bought up wrestlers from NXT too early. And then when they didn't know how to promote them, they were just there on the roster, just wasting time. Instead of them like putting them back down in NXT, like like they put Finn Balor back on NXT. You know what I'm saying? And he's like he's having his best. Well, I always thought he was great on NXT compared to on Raw. Maybe they brought him up too early or whatever. Like if they're gonna make NXT the minor leagues for for Raw and SmackDown, just the same way they do that in baseball, where you have a team that might draft a young prospect and then they bring them up for a couple of games, get them used to how it is in the pros, and then you send them back down. That's what they need to do. You don't bring up somebody like Finn Balor and you have him win the title, then he leaves because of injury, and then you bring him back. They didn't know what they were doing on Raw with Finn Balor, so they sent him back down to NXT, and he's doing great down there. I feel like he needs to stay at NXT. You know, if he wants to come back up at some point, you bring him back up. But they have to know when to bring up these wrestlers from NXT, and then if they based on their performances, if they have like a huge buzz, then you keep them on there. If they don't, then you send them back down. You know what I'm saying? They messed up with a lot of them. Fandango, he's another one. Like Fandango was better on NXT. Many they brought Fandango up, and in the beginning he had like a little buzz. Then they said, "Oh, well, we're gonna pair Fandango up with the Breeze dude, Breezango or whatever the fuck they call that tag team." I don't care for them. You know what I'm saying? It's like I just feel like Vince didn't know what the hell he's doing. You know, and that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Because like NXT is more popular to me than Raw and SmackDown. You know what I mean? So the roster on both Raw and SmackDown is not good anymore. The biggest problem for Vince screwed up. Yeah, he don't know what he's doing, and he doesn't want to give full control to Triple H. And then there's rumors about how Triple H is gonna leave, and it's like they don't know what they're doing over there. They screwed up with Roman. They rushed to make Roman the champion. As soon as the Shield took a little break, they rushed to make Roman heavyweight champion, and it wasn't a good look for him. Like it's like they were infatuated with getting rid of Cena, and oh, we're gonna focus on Roman Reigns now. He's the new face of the company. You know, I think now Roman is a good champion. I didn't care for him as champion a couple years ago. I just thought they rushed to make him the champion, and I didn't understand that. It wasn't his time. Seth to me was a better champion than Roman. What about naked wrestling? What do you mean? I never watched naked wrestling. Yeah, Devontae is a great producer. I think he's probably still got great production in him. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Like if he's still suffering anxiety from a robbery attack, then I mean you're never gonna get him back. They have to figure something out. And maybe that's why they haven't come out with music often because of Devontae, because they waiting for him. Do I like Brazilian Jusu? What is that? What is Brazilian Jusu, Sam? I never heard of that. Is that like you mean ninjutsu? Is that what you was trying to say? I don't know what you're saying. What is that about, Makai? Modern music mayhem? What is that? No, I don't watch NJPW. Brazilian, and nah, I don't watch. I'm not big on MMA. Like I've seen a couple matches. I used to watch Kimbo Slice when he was fighting in some of the McGregor fights. But I'm not like a huge fan of like UFC and MMA. What is modern music mayhem? What the hell is that? Favorite producer in hip hop and R&B? Favorite hip hop producer is Pete Rock. Favorite R&B producer, I'd probably say Teddy Riley. Well, used to be Teddy Riley. Now I still would probably say Pharrell. I love Pharrell. I think Pharrell is great. Do I like boxing? Yes. I love boxing. It's not the same like it used to be though. I was more of a boxing fan when Mayweather was fighting. When Pacquiao was fighting, Miguel Cotto, um, Jermaine Taylor, Bernard Hopkins. Like I was a big like super middleweight fan. I was like more of a fan of the middleweight boxers. Zab Judah. I'm a big fan of his when he was fighting. More of like I was a fan more like years ago. Like now it's not the same. I don't get hype anymore for like a box. I mean I don't feel like there's any like other than um Crawford and what's the other dude? Spence. Other than those two, I don't think there's really a much of a boxing draw anymore. Deontay Wilder, he was good until he got knocked out by Tyson Fury, and then I think he lost. I think he lost some of his buzz. So I'm not. I haven't been excited for boxing probably since the Wilder and Tyson Fury match. But uh, I think this Spence is fighting Crawford. Isn't Spence fighting Crawford? Or that happened already? I forget. I haven't been into boxing in a minute though. Like, but the best years were like yes I wasn't around for Ali and Frazier, but the Tyson era definitely was great. Watching Sugar Ray and Marvin Hagler, rest in peace to him. Tommy Hearns, George Foreman. That's what I've seen. Mike Tyson is fighting apparently Vander Holyfield in May. I seen that on ESPN like yesterday. So we having Tyson and Holyfield a rematch. And if I was Holyfield, I would wear some ear protectors because you never know. But that's probably gonna be the next boxing match I watch is Tyson and Holyfield just to see if Tyson can beat him. I think I've always thought Tyson can beat Holyfield. I want to actually see him beat Holyfield though. But I haven't been excited about boxing for years. That same way I feel about wrestling. I haven't been excited for wrestling since shit since Lesnar was champion. It's before COVID. You know what I'm saying? So I think the last year just made everything like really screwed up. Like I wasn't watching it because of COVID. And nobody was actually there. You know, and sometimes I had to force myself to watch it just to keep up with what was going on. But I don't know. I'm gonna try to watch WrestleMania this year. Hopefully, it's good. I watched the Royal Rumble. That was decent. You know, so hopefully it's good. If WrestleMania is not good, then I don't know. I might not even watch anything else this year when it comes to wrestling. So we'll see. Um, my favorite WWE is I don't know. I can't pick like one year. Like as far as decades, that's definitely the 80s for me and 90s. Those 2 decades, I think that was like the best times to be a wrestling fan. Seeing Hulk Hogan win the championship for the first time. Seeing Sean kick Marty Jannetty through the glass at the Brother Love show, and then going solo on his own, and you know, seeing the Mega Powers form with Hogan and Macho Man, and taking on Zeus, Tiny Lister, rest in peace to him, and the Million Dollar Man at SummerSlam. What was that? '88, I think it was. That I like those memories. I'll cherish forever because I've grown up watching those legends. And it was a great time for wrestling. The '80s wrestling, '90s wrestling, seeing The Rock become a mega star. You know, Stone Cold. Every Monday night it was something to look forward to. It was must see TV. You wasn't missing Monday Night Raw back then because Stone Cold was gonna come at the Vince and the corporation, and you knew Triple H was gonna, even though I hated Triple H, but he was a great heel. DX. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like those decades was like the best time for wrestling. We don't have that no more. You know what I'm saying? So I can't pick like one year, but the 80s and 90s for me was like the best time to be a wrestling fan. Um, do I like Raging Bull? I've seen it. It's not my favorite film from De Niro, but it was good. I love Triple H. You know, great wrestler, Hall of Famer. What he's done solo wise is great. What he's done with one of the best stables with DX was great. You know. Yeah, I saw the trade, Alonzo. I mean, the Knicks ain't get nobody. Like I said earlier, we didn't get nobody of significance. We got two guys I don't even know who the hell they are. What about you got Andre Drummond that's available? Like they need a five. They need a stretch five because Mitchell Robinson cannot score. Like they need a stretch five that can put the ball in the hoop. That's Andre Drummond, and he can get you 32 points and 30 rebounds. Mitchell Robinson can't do that right now. You know, I think the team that had the best move was Miami got some. They got Oladipo. You got that combination with Oladipo and Jimmy Butler. They looking to make some noise. They looking to definitely be in the playoffs. You know, um, the Clippers. I don't know what the other Clippers did by sending Lou Williams back to Atlanta. Like he played in Atlanta when they were bad. You're gonna send your six man back to Atlanta for Rajon Rondo? I didn't understand that. I don't think Rondo's better than Lou Williams at this point. So I didn't understand that. I don't know. I think Miami made the best moves. Celtics, they picked up some players. They need to get him. They didn't have to trade nobody from either. They should have got rid of Frank, and Knox. You know, but I don't know. I thought Drummond is who they need. They need a stretch five. You know, and maybe picking up Terrence Ross isn't that bad either. He can come off the bench for them and give them some points. Um, how do you feel about Benoit? Benoit's a great wrestler. He was a great wrestler. Great champion. You know, he should be in the Hall of Fame, but he's not. Favorite Italian boxer? I don't know. I gotta get back to you on that one. Nuggets. Yeah, the Nuggets got Aaron Gordon from Orlando. That was a good pickup for them. Um, I think Nuggets are loaded. I don't know. Like if they can't get over the hump this year, I don't know. Cause I felt like they could have beaten the Lakers last year. You know, Nuggets got a good squad. Utah got a good team. It's gonna be interesting. Everybody that all the players that was linked to coming to New York went elsewhere. You know, Oladipo was linked to coming here. He went to Miami. You know, who else was linked to coming here? Bradley Beal. He didn't. The Wizards ain't even make no trade. Like they kept him. Zach Levine. They kept him. Sexiest diva. Um, Now or back then. Now I think it's Sasha Banks. I think Sasha Banks is she's beautiful. Back then, probably maybe Trish Stratus. She was cute. Have you met any Sicilians? I don't know. It's not, I don't walk up and ask people are they are they Sicilian? Well, I don't know. Have you met any Sicilians? I think Rocky or the best boxing. Yeah, Rocky was classic, classic movie. Better movie character, Jody or Rodney? Jody definitely. I think Tyrese. That's one of his best films as an actor. You know. I don't see. I don't see. I don't think the Wizards are gonna keep Beal and Westbrook. I think they're gonna end up leaving eventually. You know, like they're gonna totally rebuild that team. And I think when they got Westbrook, they probably thought, oh, like he's gonna take them far. And Westbrook has just been playing like crap. He's not even playing in a lot of games. You know, I definitely think Westbrook and Beal is gonna leave. Where they go, I don't know. The Lakers getting Beal would have been a good fit for them. Like even if they had to give up Kuzma and a draft pick for Beal, I would have made that deal because they definitely could use Bradley Beal right now. You know, at least if you had Beal with LeBron, that could give you time until AD come back from his injury. But them not even making like a move or whatever, like the Lakers might dip in the standings. You know, and now LeBron is hurt too, so and they talked about moving Montrell's contract, and I don't know what Lakers are doing right now. I'm saying like, but if you get Bill now, like he don't have to stay. You could have just like rented him for now. Cause without LeBron and AD, they're gonna slip in the standings. Like in the West, when you have teams that's looking like Phoenix and Dallas and the Clippers, they looking for positioning for the playoffs. Like they're gonna slip. Without LeBron and AD, that's your two stars. And if you don't have them, it's like they won't be able to beat nobody without these two stars. You know, it's like even if they had to give up Kuzma is not no coveted player. I mean, you know, he's tradable to me. You know what I'm saying? So I would have gave Kuzma up for Bill. You know what I mean? I mean, look at the net. The Nets took a risk and they making it work right now. They didn't have to give up Levert for Harden, and Levert doing his thing in Indiana right now. So that deal worked out for both teams. You know, Harden doing his thing. He's definitely in the MVP conversation this year. Without no KD, is basically Harden and Kyrie that's doing the work, and they winning. You know, Nets are serious about winning. So all teams should be thinking like that. Like, yo, let's make our team better. Let's upgrade our team to where like yo we could put our team in position for the postseason. I know Michael. Michael who? Michael Franzi? Who the hell is that? Who's that, Sam? Lakers gonna have to. They have to get somebody like Drummond. Even if they got Drummond now, Drummond is not going to save them without LeBron and AD. Like at least if you had Beal there, like Beal could win some games for them because he's surrounded by better talent with the Lakers than he is with Washington. What's some good old school horror films? The Exorcist, my favorite, still the scariest film of all time. Poltergeist, The Fog, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, The Ring. Like there's a couple of them that I love. Yeah, Allen Iverson was great, a great Hall of Famer, legend. Never missed his games, and I wasn't even a Sixers fan, but just watching him play, he played with heart every night. Whether it was a bad team, a good team, a mediocre team, he played with injuries. He played without injuries. He played every night. We don't have players like that anymore. Like Allen Iverson was like Kobe Bryant. Like Kobe Bryant played every night, injured, not injured. That's why they the goats. Nowadays you got players taking games off for load management. What the hell is load management? Michael Jordan never took no game off for load management. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, they never took no games off to rest. There was no rest in the NBA. These plays now that people call superstars, they you know what I'm saying? It's like they have them like they like babies and shit. They can't play a full week before load management. Like, come on. There was none of that was going on back then. Why they don't do that shit in baseball or in hockey? You don't see people players taking days off in baseball for load management. They don't do that shit. Mike Trout plays every day. You know what I'm saying? Load management. That load management is when they give the players days off for them to rest. Not load management. I meant load management. LOAD. Load management. That's what they call it. Where they give the superstar players certain days off so that they can rest. They didn't do that back then. Baseball don't do that. If you have like 160 something game schedule, you playing it every day. If you healthy, you might get like one a day off or like maybe the All Star break. They don't do that in baseball. They don't do that in hockey. They don't do that in football. Drew Brees played every game when he was with the Saints for the Saints and won. That's why he's a legend. He didn't take the Saints didn't give him days off because he's a superstar quarterback. That doesn't happen in the NFL. NBA is the only sport where they do that shit. Blake Griffin just came to the Nets. I'll give you a prime example. Blake Griffin just came to the Nets and played like what, one game with the Nets. All of a sudden he has load management. What the fuck is that? How do you just get to a team? You play one game and then he's already resting. If you feel like he's that injury prone, then why did you make a move to get him in the first place? You know what I'm saying? So what happens when the playoffs come? He's gonna play like two games and then he's out for the rest of the series. You know, I need a break for what? You have a break during the off season. You know what I'm saying? When the NBA season ends in June, you come back in September for training camp. That's all the vacation time they need. And you still getting like what? Like a couple of days off during the All-Star weekend? Like what more load management they need? I don't understand that. I can see if it's a blowout game and you don't want your star player like Giannis to get injured, and if you're up by like 40 points, yeah, you take him out for the fourth quarter. I don't have no problem with that. But for a couple games, for what? That makes no sense. So you can't call yourself like this is what I don't understand with this generation. You call these players superstars when they can't even play a full week. When did that happen? Like Jordan never did that. Magic, Isaiah, they never did that. You know, they did that rule. Yeah, even with preseason, they don't play the full preseason games. They might play like a quarter or something, and then they take them out. You know what I'm saying? Like this is something that's been going on for like the last couple of years. Like they've been doing this for a minute now. You know, I guess that's to preserve them from getting injured. Oh, so you can get injured at any point. You can step on the court and and pull your hamstring. You can jump for a rebound and land the wrong way and tear your Achilles. So I don't think load management is gonna help them from is gonna stop them from getting injured. You know, I think that's the thought process. Like, oh well, let me keep my star player out for a week because I need him healthy for the playoffs. What happens when he plays that first game in the playoffs and he gets a cramp in his hamstring? Then you got to take him out for like a whole 2 weeks. It doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, that I don't agree with that at all. What NBA team had over 100 points in the game? What you mean? Every team has over 100 points in games. That's I don't understand, Tim. Shaq. Well, I think Shaq. I don't know. I think Shaq was always injury prone. He was always injured. He was always getting injured, even though for the most part, he played the majority of his career. But when he was out for a long time. You know what I'm saying? But even then, it's like if you're healthy, you should be on the court. That you're getting paid millions of dollars. People are coming to the games and spending money on tickets that are overpriced in the first place. The least you could do is suit up for a game and play for your fans, whether you at home or on the road. I never understood that whole thing about, oh, well, I'm not going to play because I need rest. You get rest during the off season, just like every other league, baseball, football, hockey, soccer. Like, I don't understand this whole load management shit. You know, that's not going to stop you from getting an injury. I've heard of the band. Yeah, I know Anthrax. I don't listen to Anthrax, but I know the song they did with Public Enemy, Bring the Noise, classic song. I don't know the situation with KD. I thought KD. I thought it was some COVID shit going on. I don't really know the situation with Kevin Durant. You know, if he's out because of injury, then they probably want to make sure he's healthy for the playoffs. They don't want to bring him back too soon, and he's injured again for a minute. And you remember he's coming back first time in like a whole year from the Achilles injury. So I would think they want him to be fresh for the playoffs, but still, it's like he can go back on the court the first game and have an injury. So if he's able to play, he should play. Let him get some reps in. Let him get some plays in, and then you could take him out if you want to. But I don't believe in that whole thing of a player being healthy and they not playing. They should be playing. That's what you get paid for. What basketball player had the most slam dunks? I don't even know. Who had the most slam dunks? Tell me. I don't know that. Barkley is a troll. Like I don't even pay attention to what Barkley says anymore. I think he does that for to get people talking. You know what I'm saying? Because they know people that they're gonna react to whatever he says on TNT, and that's the reaction he wants out of people. I don't even pay attention to what he says. Barkley said a lot of dumb shit over the years. You know, James Harden and Kobe was not better than Michael Jordan. I mean, if you call putting up a bunch of points and playing no defense like James Harden better than Jordan, then he's out his mind. Michael Jordan did it both defensively and offensively every night. He didn't take no night off for no team. James Harden plays no defense. All he does is a scoring machine. How is that being better than Michael Jordan? I don't get it. And this is the problem with this generation. They equate greatness with how many points you put up. It ain't all about points. You know what I'm saying? How many blocks did James Harden get in the game, or rebounds, or steals? You know what I'm saying? What did he do defensively to be great for you to for somebody to say he's better than Jordan? The analytic people are so they care so much about stats. It don't mean nothing. The stats don't mean nothing. Stats ain't getting you a ring. You know what I'm saying? Some of the most look. Tracy McGrady was one of the best scorers in the league. Does he have a ring? No. You know what I'm saying? Grant Hill, Vince Carter, they were great scoring players. Do they have any rings? No. It can't be all about points. How many points you put up? You know what I'm saying? Ben Wallace was a defensive machine on the Pistons. He didn't put up no large number of points, and he got ring. He got a ring because he didn't care about scoring 20 and 10. He cared about just the defensive side of the ball for the Pistons, and he got a ring because of that. You know what I'm saying? So it can't be all about points. You have people that's on losing teams like Minnesota. Carl Anthony Towns puts up 20 and 10 on a nightly basis. Are they winning? No. They losing. And he's probably not going to stay there. It can't be all about points. I've always thought McGrady was overrated. I've been saying that. Even when the year that he got inducted into the Hall of Fame, I'm like he don't deserve to be there. Because all he did was score. Like he lost every time he was in the playoffs. Every round of the playoffs he lost. How was he a great player? Like because you scored like 42 points a game. So what? Or you scored you did dazzling dunks in the All-Star game? That don't make him a legend. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't not one time did he sniff the finals. At least with Patrick Ewing, he made the finals twice. And we lost. But if it wasn't for Patrick Ewing, the Knicks would have went to those finals twice while he was there. Karl Malone, John Stockton, two of the best combos in basketball ever. They have no rings. But they made sure Utah was in the postseason every year that they were there. It wasn't all about points. People have to throw that whole point thing out the window. It's not about, and I don't care about analytics. Analytics you care about when you're playing fantasy sports. That's the only time stats should matter. Stats don't matter in real life when you're trying to get a ring. It can't be about, oh, well, I made 42 points, but your team is losing. I never thought McGrady was I always said McGrady is overrated, and people like, yo, you're bugging. I'm like, what greatness does Tracy McGrady have? Like, show me, because I don't see it. And he was considered a star on every team. Orlando, Houston, he had Yao Ming. Yao Ming didn't even last long, and got blown out every time he was in the playoffs. How was that? How was that a legend? I don't see it. I still think he's overrated. I think they made a mistake putting him in the Hall of Fame. Dennis Rodman, another one. He did not care about points. It was all about defense for him. That's why he have how many rings? He have a lot. He have a couple rings. He didn't care about putting up 20 and 10 or 10 and 10 or whatever. It was all about defense for him. That's why he got the hardware. You know what I'm saying? during his prime, and even in his prime, they couldn't beat nobody. Orlando couldn't beat nobody. I remember seeing those matchups. They couldn't beat nobody in the first round. Houston, how many times they got bounced out? You know what I'm saying? Like, he was a good scorer, but he's not no legend. I don't feel like he deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, nah, they got that wrong that year. He don't deserve to be there. You know, Harden is a great scorer, but at the end of the day, if you're not playing no defense, how are you going to win? He hangs his hat on offensive stats, not defense. He doesn't play defense. You know what I'm saying? So this whole thing about Harden, I'm like, I don't look at Harden as no legend. He's a scoring machine. That's what he is. There's a lot of them like that. You know, Scottie Pippen, but Scottie Pippen played defense, and again, it wasn't about points for him because he's playing the Robin to Batman. The ball when you on the Chicago Bulls or Michael Jordan, their main scorer is Michael Jordan, nobody else. Jordan is the man taking that last shot. Maybe once in a while he deferred to Steve Kerr or John Paxson or whoever that was open. But he was taking that last shot. And how many times have we seen him take the last shot and win? You know what I'm saying? Scottie Pippen had to play defense because he wasn't getting the ball while Jordan was there. He got the ball after Jordan left to play baseball. And he didn't take them far for those 2 years when Jordan was out. You know what I'm saying? So he had to play defense and do other things to, in his game. It wasn't just about scoring. I mean, you have Michael Jordan and you have great 3-point shooters like Tony Kukoc and BJ Armstrong and Ron Harper and them. You couldn't afford to play defense. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't all about scoring. These super teams that they build, it's all about scoring. Oh, we got KD, we got Kyrie, we got Harden. We're gonna blow everybody out. But can y'all play defense at the end of the day? Because if y'all doing all that scoring and y'all not, stopping nobody on the defensive end, you're not gonna win no championship. You know what I'm saying? So all the scoring in the world don't mean nothing. At least with Golden State, they had Draymond. They have Draymond there. Draymond is their defensive dude. So you can afford to make a whole bunch of jump shots with Clay and with Steph, cause Draymond gonna be there to clean it up at the end of the day. If they didn't have Draymond there, they wouldn't have had no chips. You know what I'm saying? Defense wins championships. Exactly. If you have no defense, how you gonna win? And that's with every sport, with football too. You can have the two best receivers in the league on the same team and still lose. If you don't have no a good defense, a good offensive line and good cornerbacks and shit like that. We've seen that already. Look at the Chargers. The Chargers had great teams in the past over the years with Philip Rivers, and he's a Hall of Famer. I love Rivers. Their defense was always suspect. They've had all the great offense, great receivers. Antonio Gates, one of the best tight ends ever. Their defense was always not good. That's why they never went to the Super Bowl. They couldn't beat the Patriots. We've seen that already. It has to be about defense. You can't win no championship in no sport without defense. You can't expect to just blow teams out and think, oh, I'm gonna win. You know what I'm saying? Look at the Yankees. The Yankees, you know, they always have this murderous row lineup. Stanton and Aaron Judge, Brett Gardner. The Yankees can have all the best hitters. If they had Mike Trout and Bryce Harper, it wouldn't matter. If you don't have no great pitching and great
fielders, you're not gonna win. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. It's been proven. Shaq and Kobe, they were great scorers, but they also played defense. And they had a great cast of players around them. Robert Ory, Rick Fox, Derek Fisher. They had a great cast of players around them that knew their role. Not everybody trying to be the man on a super team. Some days James Harden's gonna have to play defense. It can't be all about him being the main scorer on this team with Durant and Kyrie. Some days it might be Durant that have to play defense or Kyrie. That's the only way they're gonna win. It can't be all three players are trying to score 40 points and blow teams out. They're not gonna win like that. You know that's the bad side of these super teams because back then people wasn't deliberately trying to make a super team. You just had your stars and you had a good cast of role players around you. But this whole, joining up and trying to, everybody's not going to be Boston. Everybody's not going to be Miami. Everybody's not going to be what the Lakers did with. And even when LeBron first got there, he wasn't winning. They wasn't winning until they got AD. You know what I'm saying? So everybody is not going to be fortunate to have a successful, super team. Tim Duncan, a great leader. San Antonio don't do super teams. They wasn't trying to do that. They had Ginobili, Parker, Duncan, and then they cast the characters. You had Patty Mills, you had Bruce Bowen, Robert Ory, again, Avery Johnson. They cast the characters. They supporting cast around Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker, and they wasn't a super team. They were just the three main dudes on that team that people went to, and they were reliable and they never missed the games. That's why they got how many they got? Like 5 rings. Duncan got like that's a true team. David Robinson, exactly. Forgot about him. Over the years, they bring in the right type of guys to fit around their what they consider their star players. But it wasn't like they were going out and making super teams. They wasn't doing that. San Antonio they don't even be involved in those trade talks like going out and getting Harden and Westbrook, and they don't do all that. That's not their thing. You know, Kawhi. I think Kawhi is going to leave the Clippers. I don't think he's staying there. I think once Paul George signed that big contract with them, that was it. That was like the writing on the wall. Like he said, okay, I'm definitely leaving after this season. I don't see him staying there. I think he's definitely going to leave, and he needs his own team. I don't think they mesh well anyway. I don't think him and Paul mesh well together. Like when he was in Toronto, it was his team again, but you had the right pieces in place. You had Kyle Lowry, you had Mark Gasol, you had Siakam. Like they had the right pieces in place for them to win the title. Van Fleet was there. You know what I mean? So Leonard needs his own team. I don't think him and Paul they're the right fit. First basketball game I went to, I don't even remember. I would have to check my ticket stubs. It was probably a Knicks game against somebody. I don't remember who they were playing though. Paul Pierce definitely Hall of Famer, even though he was a Nick killer. I couldn't stand him. But Paul Pierce was a dedicated player, night in and night out. He played. He was loyal to his team. He wasn't trying to do no super team. It was actually Boston was the one that started that whole thing. Trading for Ray Allen and Garnett so that Paul Pierce could get his ring finally. Like they owed that to him. He wasn't out there recruiting players like, oh, come play with me in Boston. He wasn't about that. You know what I'm saying? He's a legend. You know, they don't make them like Paul Pierce anymore. How do I feel about the finals? I think, we lost to San Antonio. It was a lockout year, a short season. We didn't play good in that finals. You know, we didn't play good in the finals in '94 either, but at least we made it. We can say like, yo, we went to the big dance, we lost, but for one year we could say that, yo, the Knicks made the finals, and I want them to go back, but this time I want them to be ready at some point, that hopefully one day soon that they go back and this time we win. No, I don't play basketball. I wasn't basketball was never my sport. It was always baseball and football for me. I never was good at basketball. It's happened already. Like, when LeBron was going down to Miami, like they already had talks. It's not like he announced like, yo, I'm taking my talents to South Beach, and then Bosch joined. After that, like they had talks before all that was going on. So technically they were already he was already tampering with other superstars to join him in Miami. Like supposedly Bosch told him that he's not coming to Cleveland, so that you know Bosch said to him like, I'm going to Miami, and LeBron said, okay, well, since I'm friends with Wade, I'm going to Miami too. You know what I'm saying? That happens all the time. Like that's nothing new. Like players talk. Like James Harden didn't leave Houston and go to Brooklyn out the blue. Like they've been talking. Obviously, he was talking to Durant and Kyrie for a while. We just didn't hear about it. You know what I'm saying? Like that happens all the time. Like players text each other. They probably go on vacation with each other. They know each other's family and stuff. So that whole tampering thing, I don't even. That's not even a thing no more. Do I like the WNBA? Nah, I don't. I don't watch it. I've tried to watch it a couple times. It's just not for me. But salute to those women that played. They're talented. They played better than me because I can't play basketball at all. So I just don't watch it. But I tried watching it in the beginning when it started. Like the WNBA All Star game, and watching the New York Liberty play. Back then. So who is the most overrated baseball team? Uh, Overrated? I don't think any team is overrated. You have teams that cheat, like the Astros. I think you know they got all this unwarranted praise, and then you find out they were cheating. But I don't think any team is overrated. You know, Hakeem Olajuwon. What about him? He's a legend, a Hall of Famer, great player. What NBA team I hated? I hated the Bulls back then. The same way I hated LeBron is the same way I hated the Bulls, just because of those battles they had with the Knicks. Um, the Pacers, I hated them too because of the battles they had with the Knicks. Miami, I hated them too because of the battles they had with those three teams. I hated the most because of the battles with my Knicks, and the many fights that we had with them, and the many playoff losses and wins that we had against them. That built that made our team stronger. Like going through those battles with Chicago, going through those battles with Indiana, and Reggie Miller, and that whole Reggie Miller and Spike Lee thing, and the fights and the battles we had with Miami with Alonzo Mourning and Tim Hardaway and PJ Brown, and that made our team stronger. It gave our team character. That's the type of battles that we need now for our team. We haven't been through no brawls and no battles like that with this team. That's the type of battles I think that we need. Unfortunately, that it'll build character to our team. and see what our team is made of. You know, you haven't really seen. I mean, since COVID, you haven't seen like a. I can't remember the last brawl that they had in the NBA that was really bad. If we haven't seen that in a minute, like you know what I'm saying. Um, do I dislike a team now? It's not the same. It's not the same like how it used to be. You know, any team that's playing my team, I hate them. So I don't. But as far as like me hating the team, it's not the same no more like how it used to be. You know, Golden State probably. Well, it used to be Golden State because you know they had you know Steph and Clay and Durant and you know for a season or two it was them. Miami, I think probably Miami, like when they had LeBron and Wade and Bosh, that's when I hated them because it was like it's almost like once LeBron went there, it's like everybody gave them a trophy. So it was like, well, they're like already anointed champions and they haven't done a damn thing yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, and then you know we had Carmelo and Amari, but we wasn't on Miami's level at that time, and we could have been. And that's probably like the last time I really, well, again, like Miami, like I hated Miami all the time. So that's probably like the last time I really hated a team because of so much publicity it got. And I was actually down in Miami the weekend that LeBron announced that. So it was like everywhere I went, like Modell's had his T-shirts selling. You know, they had the American Airlines Arena like lit up in like the Miami colors for LeBron and everything. So that was like his you know that whole weekend that happened and him announcing that. So you know, but I don't hate no team. It's different now. I don't hate no team like that. Yeah, I watch soccer. I watch mostly like the international friendly matches or the World Cup. I'm really big on those like the countries against each other, like you know, when England is playing or Brazil or you know Cameroon, those kind like the mostly like the third world countries that are playing, you know, Ghana, you know what I mean? So I'm mostly into the World Cup, those matches. I'm not really into like Manchester United and watching those other games. I like the FIFA matches. That's what I'm saying. Um, how do you rank favorite Ice Cube albums? For me, uh, I want to say one for me would probably be the Death Certificate, and then the Predator, and then everything else. America's Most Wanted, um, Kill It Will, Lethal Injection. How do you feel about his late '90s albums? I like War and Peace. I think it's not his best. Um, the War Piece was really dark. The Peace disc was more lighthearted. It was more like radio friendly. But I like it. I didn't think it was bad. It's not a classic. It's not. I mean, but compared to the shit he dropped in the 2000s, I think it's better than any of those albums. Like a lot of them, I didn't even check for raw footage. I didn't care for, and uh, uh, the West album was how the West was one or whatever. I didn't care for that. Laugh Now, Cry Later, I actually have on CD, but I don't like it. So I mean, if you look at his 2000 shit compared to One Piece, I'll take One Piece any day. You've been learning how to sample and produce. That's dope. It is hard to do that. Reg produces any MCs, so I think it's hard to do either of those things. How do I feel about Bone Thugs? Bone Thugs are legends. I was a big Bone Thugs fan as a teenager. Um, I love E99 Eternal. I love Art of War. Um, the Bone Thugs Resurrection album to me was dope. I like New Thug Order. They got some classic albums. Uh, my favorite album from them was probably Art of War, cause I love that double album. I think Crazy Bone did his thing on a lot of those songs, and Busy killed it on a lot of those tracks. The production was solid. Um, for them to come out with a double album and it sold like millions, and that's at a time when like New York didn't even really embrace the Midwest artists like that at that time. But I think they changed a lot of people's minds with that album. Like maybe like people slept on, Creeping on the Come Up. They slept on E99. But I think when Art of War dropped, that's like it was like their coming out party to the whole country, the whole world. So I definitely think Art of War is Fire My Classic. Is You don't hear that album just like when we talk about double albums, that album is never mentioned with Life After Death or All Eyes on Me or Wu Tang Forever, and I think it's right up there with any of those albums. I think it could easily compete with any of those albums. You know, who's my favorite members? My favorite members from Bone Thugs is Crazy Bone and Busy Bone. I think they're like the heart and soul of the group. You know, Death Row, Dre, or Aftermath. Definitely Death Row, Dre. I mean, if it wasn't for Dre on Death Row, they you wouldn't Snoop wouldn't have a classic, or you wouldn't have Above the Rim, a Murder Was a Case soundtracks, and you know, you wouldn't have the Chronic. He's responsible for that whole Death Row sound, their whole success. You know, yeah, Notorious Thugs, classic, collab. You know, um, they work with like two legends, like they work with Big and Pac, and they both not here anymore. You know what I'm saying? And that says a lot. You know, very underrated. I still don't understand why. You know, um, I don't know. I think it's a solid album. Hustle and Flow or 8 Mile. 8 Mile for me, I watched 8 Mile more. Just to see Eminem act like his first time acting. I think he did his thing on that when you have Kim Basinger and Brittany Murphy, rest in peace to her. They had a good cast. Makai Pfeiffer, Anthony Mackie at that time, who I didn't know who he was at that time. Now he's like the Falcon. That was a good movie. I love the music. The soundtrack is classic, and Hustle and Flow was good. 3 6 Mafia got an Oscar for that for the song that they did. That was a monumental moment. That was a good film. Zion, Dre's taking too much credit for shit. You think EPMD started G Funk? I don't look at EPMD like they were a G Funk group. Like They sampled a lot of the stuff that Dre did. I don't ever look at them like they were G Funk though. What's your favorite 5 to 10 Southern albums? What you mean, like by any artist? I don't understand. These hot takes, man. Y'all are crazy. Why did Eric Sermon rob Paris Smith? We don't know that. Why would Eric do that anyway? We don't know about that. I think that's a rumor. I thought it was the other way around. I thought Eric got robbed. Dr. Dre influenced G Funk. I thought Warren G was the one that started that whole thing. Like he named his label G Funk Records and all that. I thought it was him. Redman got me into EPMD. That's dope. My favorite albums from EPMD, Business Never Personal, Business as Usual, Back in Business, um, Strictly Business. Those are my favorites. Now they whole discography is solid though. Like you know, even like the stuff that's considered mediocre, like they still got bangers on those albums. I've never listened to an EPMD album and thought it was whack. Like it was either classic or it was mediocre. I never thought like they had one whack album. You know. Dre popularized G Funk, but Warren G created the sound, right? Yeah, that is underrated. That definitely one of their best albums. You know, I need to get that. I don't have that one. I got most of their stuff. I got Strictly Business. The second one I don't have. I don't have Unfinished Business. I have Business as Usual, Business Never Personal. Out of Business. I have that one. That one was mediocre to me though. Uh, We Mean Business. I had it on bootleg, but I never bought the original for that. Back in Business. I never bought. I need to get that one also. Yeah, they solo stuff. Eric, I'm a big Eric Sermon fan. I promoted for his one of his albums. I prefer his stuff more than PMD. Like even though Business is Business, I think that's PMD's best album. But Eric, to me, I always liked Eric's albums more than PMD. Yeah, the joint that was fire. Keep it moving. Never seen before. Richter Scale. They got some joints on that album. You think he's underrated? I think he's definitely a legend. I mean, you know, I would like to see him battle or EPMD battle somebody in the verses. That'd be dope. Eric Sermon versus PMD in the verses. That'd be interesting. They should do that. From Dubious, they dope. I got their first album, which Doobie UB. That's an album I might talk about because that's another underrated group nobody mentions. Far Side, Alcoholics, all great West Coast groups. I love all of their stuff. Um, Eric Sermon and Keith Murray. I don't know if they would do that though. Keith Murray would lose that battle easily. Like he would lose that battle. Rascast, underrated lyricist. Nah, that was a commercial I was playing on TV, Sam. Uh, yeah, you got to chill. That was fire. Yeah, EPMD against Eric B and Rakim, and that would be an interesting battle. That's something. And Eric Sermon had beef with Rakim. I didn't even know that until like a couple of days ago. You know, I was watching something on YouTube, and this podcast. This guy was talking about like there was some beef with Rakim and Eric, and they almost came to blows. So that would be interesting. Eric B and Rakim against EPMD. That's a battle I want to see. Oh, you mean Soul Assassins? That's the little that's the clique that they had with Cypress Hill, House of Pain, Funk Dubious, Psycho Realm. Yeah, Lost Boys and Corrupt. Lost Boys is dope. They had two good albums. I enjoyed it. Corrupt is underrated lyricist. Um, Streets is a Mother. Supposed to be his best album. He did his thing on the Dog Food album. I loved it. Definitely one of the best. Yeah, Meth and Red. That's gonna be good. I got Redman winning. I think Redman got the better albums. I think his songs were better than Meth to me. I don't know anything after those first two Cal albums. I don't know what he's gonna play after that. He might have to go with the Wu Tang stuff because I don't think his stuff was great after those first two albums. I think Redman got bangers, and he did a lot of features. Even with Dare, even though I don't care for that album, Dare's a Dark Side got bangers on there. Blackout too. Blackout was a great album. It's great. Again, but I mean, if he does it for Meth, he's gonna have to use because he don't have a great discography. He's gonna have to use a lot of the Wu Tang stuff. He's gonna have to use stuff that he's done with Redman. Redman don't gotta do that. Redman could just use anything from his discography alone and still beat Method Man. He can use anything from the first four albums and beat Method Man without using anything that he's done with Method Man. You know what I'm saying? So I think I got Redman in this one. He has solo albums. It's just that they're not good. Like Takao 1 and 2 are his best in his discography. I don't like the prequel. I think that was trash. The Day After was okay. It's not great. And then you got the Meth Lab stuff. Like what shit is he playing off the Meth Lab? Any of those mixtapes to beat Redman stuff? I don't think he gonna win. Like I said, if he wins, he's gonna have to use the Wu Tang stuff or in the features he's done. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Redman can just use his whole discography and beat him. You know, and Red has done features on people's albums and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like he can use that stuff too. Met the Man produced Wu Tang and Nothing to Fuck With. He actually produced that on the first Wu Tang album. But as far as like his own stuff, he didn't produce his own stuff. It was mainly RZA or he had a Fourth Disciple or Mathematics. Eric Sermon, Havoc did stuff on the second album from him, you know. But that's gonna be great. That's gonna be great. That's the type of battles I want to see. I want to see, like we had last week, Ray and Ghost. Now we getting Red and Meth. We getting SWV and Escape. Those are the battles I want to see. 'Cause they're definitely good for the genre of music that those artists come from. They're gonna be good for the culture and introduce them to the young generation that don't know their music. Those are the battles I want to see. Earth, Wind, and Fire against the Isley Brothers. That's gonna be another great matchup. Those are the matches I want to see. You know, what's your favorite cities, states in the Midwest for hip hop? Chicago, Atlanta, uh, Memphis, um, North Carolina, Virginia. You know, and in those cities, Miami. Well, Miami. I only real person from Miami I like is Trick Daddy and Rick Ross. So I'm not big on. I was never big on Trina. But I'm a huge Rick Ross fan and Trick Daddy fan later on. So you know, uh, Don Pacino's an asshole. What happened with you and Don Pacino? Yeah, I'll be that. The Goodness. Once Upon a Time in Jersey. That yeah, like if he can use any of those songs and beat Method Man in a round, like those were big songs, especially The Goodness. That was a big song for him. I'll be that. You know, Meth ain't got nothing past the two albums. That's what I'm saying. Is like he would have to use Wu Tang shit or features or like I guess like regular album cuts because I think Redman discography is better. I've always said that. You know. Nah, I'm not a fan of Denzel Curry. I know Reg is. Reg talked about he wanted to do a album review. I'm like, I don't listen to Denzel Curry though. Escape versus SWV, that's gonna be a great matchup. I grew up with a lot of SWV music and Escape. I think Escape has better albums than them, but SWV has a lot of big hits. A lot of dope collabs they've done with people. Redman. We just mentioned Redman and Wu Tang Clan. So I think that's gonna be a good matchup for R&B. I mean, you can't. I don't really put too much stock in what celebrities. You know, they say shit. You know what I'm saying? When they reach a certain level, even if we don't think that they're celebrities in their mind, they might think they're bigger than life. And sometimes you just gotta ignore what how they act. I don't really pay too much attention to shit like that. He probably don't even remember what he said. So I mean, I think Don Pacino is dope. He's underrated in Killer Army. He's been coming out with dope mixtapes on his own. You know, but nobody mentions him. So yeah, Doctor Name 2000. That's one of my favorites, and I've said it. I prefer that album over Days of Dark Side, and people thought I was crazy for saying that. I'm like, to me, it's a better album. It's better production. It has better songs. That's one of his best. That's his best selling album. It went platinum, and any song off of there he could be Method Man with. Is that solid? He has every song on there is banging. I don't care for the skits. The skits. I mean, I know that was always Redman's thing. I don't care for the skits, but the songs itself were great. You know, your old Droog, I like him. I've heard a couple of his albums. The Lucy's project was dope. And what's the other joint I heard from him? It was something else. The Transportation album that was dope. You know, I know he put out something recently. I haven't gotten a chance to hear it yet, but yeah, he's a dope artist. I don't hear too many people mention him either. You know, I know at one point there was something about him sounding like Nas. I never thought he sounded like Nas. I don't see the comparison. But I think he's a dope rapper. Yeah, Redman produced. He produced uh he mainly produced on There's a Dark Side, which is probably why I don't like it that much because it wasn't a lot of Eric Sermon production on that one. Um I think he produced on Muddy Waters and on Docs, and then most of his albums he produced. Like he's a producer. Like he's produced for other people as well. You know, the Artifacts first album he produced on that because he's Team One's cousin. You know, like he's a producer as well. Um, Out of the five boroughs, how would you rank them? What you mean? How would I rank the boroughs? I don't know. I never I rank them by MCs or what? I don't understand what you mean. How am I ranking them? What's the criteria for ranking the boroughs? He sounded more like the Game. I didn't feel like he sounded like the Game at all. I mean I think he talked about that on Vlad how people felt like he sounded like Nas. I'm like I don't hear it though. I like his delivery, the way that he rhyme and Nas rhyme is two different things. Like if you talking about his voice, maybe you could say that, but I don't think he sound like Nas or the Game at all. How I feel about Chino. Chino XL is a dope, underrated lyricist. He never really got the production to go with his albums. You know, he's like another Cannabis. Like Cannabis, I never felt like Cannabis got the production to go with his albums, but he was a dope lyricist. You know, um, I know he has. I think he has an album coming out with is it what was it V Don? One of those new producers. If it's not 38 Special, it might be V Don or one of them. He has an album coming out. Quick is mad underrated. Yeah, he is underrated. I definitely agree. You know, like I love his production and his party vibes and his whole positivity and you know, you definitely gotta talk some quick stuff. I don't know why Reg is waiting on that. Like I thought we would have been did that by now. I'd rather talk about DJ Quick's discography than Ultra Mag, but that's just me. But yeah, definitely we gotta talk about some quick albums. Yeah, 38 Special is a producer. Definitely like his stuff. Pitch on the Party, yeah, Pitch on the Party was my joint. That's fire. Um, Jay Z has some bad beats. I don't even. I think that's something Vlad started. I don't even get into like who has bad beats. Like every artist has a bad album or a couple bad albums. So not everything Jay Z put out was great. Favorite Quick albums. Quick is the name. Um, what's the joint? Safe and Sound is my favorite. Rhythmalism. I like the album he did with Problems, Rosebud, Rosebud Cran or something like that. That was fire. Was it Rosebud? I'm not saying Rosebud. It was Rose Ave Cran, something like that. That was fire. Um, what else? The Way Too Funky album. I forgot about that one. Rose Cran album. My bad. Yeah, the one with him and Problems. That one was dope. Um, Spice one is dope. I haven't heard a lot of his stuff. I only listened to his first album. I haven't gotten around to listen to his other stuff in his discography though. But I definitely want to check that out. Yeah, he does. He does have a great discography. He needs more respect and more mention in discussions like this. It can't just be all about Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre is great, but Quick is just as great. I feel like Daz is underrated as well as a producer, and we hardly hear about Daz. A whole bunch of them. You know, EA Ski, Muggs, Evidence, all great producers. You know, he got $100 from royalties. That's crazy. You prefer Too Short over E40? I haven't checked out any of their stuff like that. Like I know some of these songs, but I never like really dug deep in their discographies yet. So I like Andre more. I think Andre is a better lyricist than Big Boy, but I like Big Boy's albums. You know, except with Speaker Box, I didn't really like. I like Love Below more than Speaker Box, but anything after Speaker Box, like the Boom Universe album and this So Lucius Left Foot classic album, the Purple Ribbon mixtapes that he did, those were dope. I like Big Boy's stuff because he every album is different from his last one. He's still elevating as an artist. And Andre got one solo album, but we still waiting for the next one. And it's like he's never gonna drop anything. Yeah, definitely. He's a great lyricist. I just wish he would have dropped more stuff, solo wise or whatever. You never like JD? I love Jermaine Dupri. I think he's a legend. What his contributions to R&B and hip hop, and you know, I don't. He's not top five of all time to me, but I definitely feel like he's up there with the greats. You know, Too Short, Freaky Tales. Okay, Short Dog in the House. I actually listened to. I never heard Freaky Tales though. I never heard that one. Yeah. I think this is the longest live stream I've been on. I've done. Yeah, I mean, JD, his thing was all about the younger artists, Chris Cross. He made them into multimillionaires. Did the same thing for TLC, the Brat, Bow Wow. That was his thing. He was good at working with the younger artists as well as the established ones. Mariah Carey had a lot of her hits are because of Jermaine. Everything after Music Box, that was all Jermaine Dupri. I'll always be my baby. You know, it's like that. Um, the shit she dropped off of Glitter, that's all Jermaine. We belong together. Shake it off. That's all Jermaine. A lot of her career is based off of his production. You know, I mean, now the stuff he did for Janet, I ain't care for. I just felt like it wasn't his best shit. You know, The shit he did for Usher, classic shit. Like any song off of My Way and Confessions and 8701, that's all Jermaine. You know, Usher, Mariah, they owe they success to Jermaine Dupri mostly. You know what I'm saying? Crisscross, you know, TLC, some of this stuff was done by Jermaine, you know. Like he's a great producer, you know. Escape, you know, same with them. Like their three best albums is all Jermaine Dupri. You know, Jagged Edge, their early stuff, all Jermaine Dupri. You know, like he's a great songwriter, you know what I'm saying? Like producing, songwriting, that's his thing. Yeah, he is. I mean, but he's done bangers for a lot of hip hop. I mean, money ain't a thing. That's one of Jay Z's big hits. That was Jermaine. You know, he's done shit for Fabulous. He's done a lot of shit for a lot of hip hop artists. You know, R&B is his thing. But I mean, he got hits in hip hop as well. You know, the Brat first album, that's all Jermaine. Her second album, all Jermaine. Everything that she came out with was Jermaine Dupri. You know, what is the gayest lyrics you can think of on top of your head? Uh, the Biggie shit. You look so good. I was sucking your daddy's dick. That shit. No, at the time that wasn't a big thing. You know, um, we wasn't talking about it like that because we didn't have no internet back then. I think now it's different because we have the social media. So people analyze his lyrics and lyrics like that now more than ever. We didn't do that 20 years ago, you know. But I mean, that's what comes to mind. I mean, I can't think of any more right now. But you know, the Biggie lyrics or whatever. Some Mix a Lot. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Some Mix a Lot. I don't even remember that song. I only know uh what's that shit? Baby Got Back. That's the only song I know from him. I was not a fan of his at all. So it's funny. Biggie, nah, I don't. I never heard of no uh rumors like that for Biggie. It was always Mace. Like Wendy, you know, was the one that actually came out and said that Mace and Puff were like an item or whatever. They were like going together, but it was never. I never heard of no things with Biggie. You know what I'm saying? Like again, it wasn't a thing back then. Like '94, we didn't. You know, people didn't focus on well he said this and it wasn't a thing like that. Like I think we understood what he meant when he said it. Whereas now it's like people like when you have like the Genius website and they all about lyrics and I think people overanalyze lyrics. You know, they it's more out there now. Back then it wasn't a thing, so it's like I didn't I heard it and I was like, oh okay. I didn't it wasn't something that we talked about or like, oh, damn, did you hear what Biggie said? You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't a thing back then. At least not for me. If it was for everybody else. like had no big conversations with friends. Like, oh, like I can't believe Biggie said this, and it wasn't a thing for me. So I mean, like if you could grow up listening to Boy George and Culture Club, Boy George is gay. You know what I'm saying? Like that was known, and I knew that at a young age. Elton John is gay. Freddie Mercury is gay. You know what I'm saying? Madonna had a huge gay following. These are all artists I grew up listening to. So it was never a thing for me to say like, oh, why is Biggie saying this? And I don't care. Like if you know what I'm saying, if the artist is dope, they dope. I don't care about their sexual preference and what they do in their bed. That's their business. Frank Ocean is gay, and I love Frank Ocean. He's a great singer. That shouldn't be a issue now, still in this day and age. You know, people analyzing what Biggie said. He said it. You know. Yeah. What Cannabis said again, like we understood what he meant. It wasn't a big thing like that. You know what I'm saying? So people just need to get over that stuff. Favorite character from CB4? I don't even like CB4. I don't like that movie. I love the soundtrack. I never cared for that movie. I never liked that. Out of all the Chris Rock films that I've seen, I never cared for that one. You gotta ask Reg that. I know Reg loves that film. I never cared for that film. I don't even know how true that is. If I mean Wendy could be talking shit. I don't know how true that is with Mace and Puffy and yes, I know Sam. It's again, it's not a thing for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up listening to gay artists. It's not a thing. You know, it might bother everybody else. I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? Like the music is what I care about. You know what I'm saying? So what you do in your bedroom that's on you. That's your thing. That shouldn't be an issue. You know what I'm saying in this day and age. You know what I'm saying? How many people love Queen? Freddie Mercury was gay. He was openly gay. We already knew that. I knew that watching him perform at Live Aid. That's not a thing anymore. You know what I'm saying? If you have people that's gay in your family, like that shouldn't be a thing. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I see it. You know what religion they are or color they skin or what they do in their bedroom is their business. It shouldn't be a thing like oh like Justin Timberlake is white. Who cares? He's making great music to me. Like, he's a white singer that I feel like is a dope artist. It shouldn't matter. You know, if Justin was white and gay, or if he's Indian and gay, or whatever, it shouldn't matter. There's too much emphasis, especially in hip hop, on who you're sleeping with, and you know what I mean. I don't, and what color your skin. I don't care about all that. You know, it's like they. I will talk about Culture Club on here. You know what I'm saying? Newsflash: Boy George is gay. He's not straight. You know what I'm saying? That shouldn't bother nobody. Like, oh, well, Tribro was talking about Culture Club, so this is the music I grew up on. What am I not supposed to talk about Culture Club because Boy George was gay? If I decide to talk about News of the World from Queen, I should not talk about that album because Freddie Mercury was gay. It doesn't make sense. Frank Ocean, Channel Orange, classic album. If I decide to talk about that album, people are not gonna watch it because Frank Ocean is gay. That doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? I don't. That shouldn't matter. Like what the artist, that doesn't affect what the artist come out with. Is what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Well, if Mace was gay and he was with Puffy, then that's their business. That ain't got nothing to do with me. You know, Wendy could be lying for all I know. Like, you know, Wendy said shit and she lied about it. So who knows? It could be all a rumor. Well, how do you maybe they're not ready to come out. I mean, who are you to say, Zion, that they're hiding who they are. Maybe they're not ready to come out. They don't have to come out. Not every gay person needs to come out and say, "Oh, look, I'm gay." They have to be comfortable in their skin to say, like, that's on them. I can't speak for gays. So, if they comfortable coming out, cool. If they're not, then cool. How is that bothering you? You know what I'm saying? Everybody is different. You know, I didn't grow up in a household like that. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like it was no racism going on, or what sexual preference you are and stuff. I'm just different. I don't know how about everybody else. I wasn't raised like that. You know, I think that's the mindset people need to change. Is 2021. If Beyonce came out and she said she's bisexual, is people gonna look at Beyonce differently? I don't think she's gonna lose her fans. She might get more fans because of that. But if Jay-Z come out and say that he's gay, then what? Is his career over? You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't matter. Like, this hip hop is the only genre I feel like they make too much of an emphasis on gay and straight, or color your skin. How come I never hear nobody say, oh, Necro and Vinnie Paz, or white rappers, and they don't get the flack that Eminem get. Beastie Boys never get that flack. When it comes to Eminem, it's, oh, I can't listen to As for black people, I can't listen to Eminem because his music doesn't speak to me. He's not, niggas in the hood don't bump Eminem. When I know black people that was bumping Eminem in the hood. All of a sudden now it's 2021. No, we can't bump Eminem because of the you know Black Lives Matter movement. I don't believe in that shit. If you was bumping Eminem in 1999, don't stop bumping Eminem now because of what's going on in the world. I just think that's fake. That's like you having if you're white, you having a black friend, and all of a sudden you can't be a friend to your black friend because of what's going on in the world right now, because you don't understand what they're going through. I don't buy that. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta be me at the end of the day. These are the artists I grew up listening to, whether they were white, black, gay, straight. It don't matter to me. You know, Sam. Those are people that they're just ignorant. You just gotta ignore that. You're gonna have people that come out and say that shit. To piss you off or to get a rise out of you, or whatever. You just gotta ignore them. You gotta be true to yourself. What sexuality is gonna look abnormal? You have to be yourself at the end of the day. Whether you're straight, gay, bisexual, whatever. Don't worry about what people think and what people say. That shouldn't bother you. When you get up in the morning, you gotta look in the mirror at yourself. That's what matters. You gotta be happy with who you see in that mirror, not what everybody else see. You know what I'm saying? That shouldn't matter. If some of our lyricists that we covered and we put on Mount Rushmore came out and said they were gay, are you gonna stop listening to them? If Nas came out right now and said that he's gay, you gonna stop listening to Nas? If Black Thought came out and said he's bisexual, how would you feel about that? How would you look at him then? Are you gonna look at him the same, or are you gonna look at him differently because he came out and said that? That shouldn't change who the person is, and their music and their artistry. You know what I'm saying? This is what I try to like make people understand by having this platform. I gotta be me at the end of it. I can't be somebody that I'm not. I'm not gonna do that for not for no paycheck, for nothing. I have to be me at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? I've heard people tell me like, "Oh, the music you listen to is it's not hood." I can't listen to 50 Cent and Mobb Deep every day. I'm sorry. I never did that. You know, I was brought up, if you want to say eclectic or with diverse taste or whatever. I was always That's just me. I was brought up, you know, with many different tastes to different things. I can't bump Mob Deep and Griselda every day. I'm not gonna do that. Just to just for views, and because then I wouldn't be me. So when you see me talk about the weekend, or you see me discuss, No Doubt or Phil Collins or Blondie, that's the music that I grew up on. It can't just all be about hip hop. It can't just all be about, oh well, let's talk about Griselda. Let's talk about Cuban Link. I can't do that. You know that shouldn't change who the person is. Like I gotta be me. I If you want to hear about Griselda all the time, you can go to other podcasts. There's other podcasts that's talking about the same old shit, and they cater to a certain audience. When I started this channel, it was for me and a celebration of my childhood. Whether it was sports or music or movies or comics, whatever, fashion, whatever. And I gotta be true to myself. Cause then if I'm talking my shit that I don't fucking fuck with, then I'm not being true to myself and nobody else is watching it. Even if it means talking about artists that were gay and people don't like that or they have a problem with that. Well, guess what? That's the artist that I grew up listening to. They wasn't all straight. You know what I'm saying? There might be times when I want to talk about those gay artists, and if people got a problem with it, then I don't know what to tell them. You know, because again, for me, it's all about the artistry. It's all about the music. I don't care about what they do in their bedroom or how many followers they have and shit. It's not about all that for me. That's the problem with this generation now. It's like it's all about who they sleeping with, how many followers they have, what drama they have with people. It's not about the music anymore. This is why the music is trash. When people sit up there, when you got a 16-year-old that say, "Oh, you don't respect my generation. Your generation don't respect yourself." But they doing shit, or they doing questionable shit on TikTok for clicks and for attention, and you wonder why the older generation don't respect you. Don't respect your generation. It's not about the music no more. It's all about everything else but the music. I refuse to talk about that shit. If it ain't about the music for me, then I'm not talking about it. That's just how it is for me. I don't care about how many followers they got, who's dating Rihanna. I don't care about that shit. If the music is whack, I'm gonna say the music is whack. I'm not fucking with this artist. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else want to talk about who's sleeping with Rihanna. That's their business. I don't care about that. If I talk about a Rihanna album, I'm talking about the actual music, not Rihanna dating ASAP Rocky, and you know, I don't care about all that stuff. You know, I think at this point people should understand where I'm coming from and who I am. Even though I never had a right relationship with my dad, I was 6 when he introduced me to Illmatic. That's great. You know what I'm saying? Like props to your dad for putting you on to dope hip hop. Cause I don't think the parents are doing that now. I don't. Maybe at one point the parents was listening to real hip hop and they just said fuck it. I'm gonna listen to whatever my kid is listening to, and that's bad because the kids now are not being brought up on real music. They being brought up on bullshit that's not gonna be around for a very long time. It's just trendy music. You know. What are my thoughts on Lord Jamar saying gays ain't allowed? I don't care what Lord Jamar say. He's an idiot. Again, I don't care about people's sexual preference and color of their skin and whether they're Catholic or whether they're Jehovah Witness. I don't care about all that. It's about the music. That stuff didn't matter anyway. Isn't Jay-Z a Jehovah Witness? Wasn't Prince a Jehovah Witness? Nobody ever said, "Oh, I can't listen to Prince because he's a Jehovah Witness." And how much sexual shit did he talk about in his music? Wasn't Madonna Catholic? How much sexual shit? She had a sex book. How much shit did she do? You know, did videos of burning crosses on it and shit. So I don't care about all that stuff. If people have a problem with these artists because they're gay or they're Catholic or they like, then don't listen to them. That's not gonna stop me from discussing their stuff. You know what I'm saying? Eminem could be a devil worshiper. If I think his music is dope, I'm gonna discuss Eminem shit. But what he do as a devil worshiper is his business. I have nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? How many people listen to Marilyn Manson? Wasn't he doing all that fucking devil worshiping and shit? You know, Ozzy Osbourne, a legend. Black Sabbath. Wasn't he biting the heads off of bats and shit? I ain't hear nobody ever say, "Oh, I can't listen to Ozzy Osbourne." You know what I'm saying? So I don't get that. I don't get people's mentality. Maybe it's because I'm old school. That shit never, like, I never cared for all that. It was always about music for me. We all ain't perfect. You know what I'm saying? So who am I to judge, Ozzy Osbourne and say, "Oh, well, he's worshiping the devil. I can't listen to Black Sabbath." Oh no, the world is gonna end. You know what I'm saying? Oh, R. Kelly, he slept with underage women. I can't listen to his music because he did that. Again, when nobody is perfect. What R. Kelly did, he got to answer for his own, mistakes. That's on him. I care about the music. You know what I'm saying? What R. Kelly do? He's paying the price for it now. As far as his music, to me, he's a legend. I've seen R. Kelly in concert. I have the ticket stubs. He put on that's one of my favorite shows I went to ever. So I'm not gonna stop listening to his music because of whatever he did. He know what he did. We know what he did. I've known what he did for 20 something years. Even when I went to see him in concert, I knew what he did. Again, it's all about the music for me. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. People forget that. All the other shit outside of the studio and what these people do in their personal lives is just that. It's their personal life. It has nothing to do with me. Exactly. These people are regular people. Beyonce has fucking her period just like every other woman on the planet. She going through menopause just like every other older woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not different from us. They only got money. That's the only thing that makes them different from us. They're the regular human beings. People forget that. You know what I'm saying? Look at, like you said, Zion. Devontae got fucked up by some robbers, and now he got anxiety because of that. He's a human being. He's like, it's gonna happen. He's not Superman. That's gonna affect that. That would affect anybody. It affected him. He's a regular human being. He only had money, but he still affected the human side. It still affects him. I don't understand why people don't get that. Nobody's perfect. You know what I'm saying? I I could care less who's dating who and who is gay and this and that. That has nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? That would, if any of them came out right now and said they're gay, that would not stop me from listening to their music. I would not care. and a lot of them are probably gay and would never come out because of that reason, because they feel like maybe their fans would leave them. They probably terrified of even coming out and announcing that they gay. That's on them. That wouldn't make me look at them any differently. I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna treat you the way you treat me. If Reg came out and told me that he was gay, it would not affect my friendship with Reg. Reg is the homie. He's been the homie from the Speaker Clout days, from day one. Never had an issue with him for anything. That would not matter to me. I would not care. You know what I'm saying? I think people are too caught up in, so this is social media again playing the part. People are too caught up in that shit. The minute we got on these apps like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, it was all about the social media. It's like social media is like another world. You know what I'm saying? It's like almost like when Aquaman leaves the land with the humans and he goes back down to the sea with his Atlanteans. It's a whole different world down below in the sea. That's how it feels like when you get on social media. It's like a whole different world. You almost forget how reality is because it's too much like negativity on there, and people care about what you're wearing and what you're doing and who you're doing it with and how many followers you got. Who cares? Never in life have I fucking woke up in the morning worrying about how many followers I got, or who thinks what, who says what about me. I don't care about that. That shouldn't matter. Yeah, you might meet some dope ass people on social media, and you might meet some terrible people on social media. That shouldn't stop you from being you. You know what I'm saying? If you're straight, if you're gay, if you're black, white, whatever, be happy in your life. Be proud of who you are. That's what matters to me. All that other shit about what people think and what people say, who cares? You know? That's just how I think, man. That's just me. That's why shit don't bother me on here. I don't care about that shit. You know? Yeah, you can't care about that stuff, Ronnie. I gotta be on. I think I'm gonna do these live streams more often because I like this. Just talking about anything and everything, and this is good. This is shit that we normally I can't really talk like this on Reddit's channel and shit. But for me on my channel, I could talk about anything. I could care less about. I don't care about views and subs. And if you gonna watch it, you gonna watch it. If you can subscribe, then subscribe. I'm not all about that. It's just about speaking my mind and my voice and my opinions and thoughts on shit. So you know, yeah, you gotta be thankful. Be thankful that you blessed and you still alive and during this pandemic right now. That's what I care about. That's what matters at the end of the day. You know. But I'm gonna definitely end this live, and I'm gonna do this more often, like maybe twice a month. I'll do some live streams like this, and you know, just to talk with the people, and y'all can tell me what you like or what you hate or whatever. It's an open forum, so that's how I'm gonna do it. So thank you everybody that came through. Ronnie, Sam, salute to y'all. Zion, Renzo, definitely. I always say I'm gonna hook up with Renzo. I gotta get Renzo on here so we can talk some wrestling. But salute to you guys, man. You know. Um, I don't know what the hell we doing on the weekend. I know Reg got shit playing. I don't know. I don't know what we doing. I gotta ask him, but he always got shit planned. Just subscribe to the channel, That Ain't Rap Podcast. Subscribe to Reg's channel, and we see y'all. A few days. Peace.